Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Myron. I'm leading this new project called Moon Halo with my wife, Kachi. And today I'm coming here to talk more about the Akashic Record session, how that goes, what are the benefits, and I would like to address some of the frequent asked questions as well. So let's start from the beginning and let's talk about the Akashic Records itself. What is the Akashic Records? So the Akashic Records is like a dimension itself, which all the information in the universe is imprinted. When you are accessing the Akashic Records, you can have any information that you have permission to acquire. Um, where is that record? So if you think of the universe, we can think that the gateway to the Akashic record is inside of every atom. Every atom. However, as above, so below. So we have aspects of the Akashic records in different places. For example, when I'm accessing your Akashic record, I'm accessing your library of information. Uh, in your body, you have an aspect of that. Where is it? Is in your DNA. So the DNA is the 3D, or I shouldn't say that because actually there are some other components to it. But the DNA is one 3D component of the Akashic record. The Earth also has the crystalline grid, which has the all of the footprint, all of the information that every being imprinted and will ever imprint. So everything you did at any past life is imprinted in this universe. I like to see that as the eighth dimension. Now, if you get lost on what I said, just think of that as a library. The Akashic Record is the universal library that contains the stories of every single being, everything he did, and also everything he could have done. Hold that information. So, for example, if you believe in past lives, and if you're here, I believe you believe in past lives. And let's give some concepts here so we can follow a line, follow a thought. I will call this existence, my name, Myron. I will call it a fractal of my being, a fractal of my soul. So every other incarnation, every other past life I did, we're gonna define that right now as a fractal of the same soul. Okay? So every soul that I had in the past was imprinting information and energy on Earth. Now, myself, as I incarnate on Earth, I bring that information with me, but I forget. I forget. And this is a whole new process, but focusing just on the Akashic records now. So I have that in my field, my systemic or my energetic field. And that those informations, those experiences, those energies, everything that was imprinted still resonates in my field and how that affects my life. So if I have a very traumatic experience back in the past that was not resolved, that will come back again to me in a new circumstance, in a new situation, so I can learn from it. And that's how those past lives are working. It is all about the experience you need to have to unlock a certain knowledge or a certain experience. Once you learn from that and you release that from a higher perspective, you can let it go. So, what is the Akashic Record? In a nutshell, in a very simplified way, It is the library that contains the information of the whole universe. The Akashic Records have guardians, and that's why every time I get to access your Akashic Record, uh, I'll ask your permission. I cannot access your Akashic Record without your permission, so you need to write that down for me. This is very important. Um, so, if at some point you decide to learn how to do that, you do need to ask permission, and you do need uh, that those guardians allow you to enter in that space, in that library. Okay. In a nutshell, that is the Akashic Records. How I see when I'm there, it varies from person, but nowadays I just see as a globe of light. In the beginning, I used to see as a library on the universe, and I would get there and access the information I need. As I kept doing and doing and doing and doing, nowadays it is really just a sphere of light, and I touch that, I get in that uh, portal. That is appropriated word. I get in that portal to access the information that we're gonna reveal or that you asked for during the session. And then we can start, that's a good starting point to start talking about the benefits. So, what are the benefits? Multiple, multiple. I can talk from myself because I did many, many, many sessions before, uh, start learning the technique and start doing that with my clients. But I can tell you that you can do energetic healing, and it is amazing. Like the amount of healing you can do in a session, it is incredible. Um, if you are not sure about what that can mean, I invite you to take a look at the testimonials that I have on my website. Even some people or some clients that worked with me and they also go to like other readers, uh, energy readers, and some of them have gone there before the session and after the session, and all of the readers they say, "Wow, you're completely different." But more than that, it is about unlocking and unfolding the information you need. It is like turning that key that to, oh, okay, now I know why I do that, or oh, okay, now I know why I'm in this situation. And out of that understanding comes a lot of healing. But also when you're there in the Akashic Record, we are in touch with the ascended masters, with star brothers and sisters, and your guides. So there's so much love. There's such a high energy that comes just of being in that place. And I'll tell you that the most important thing of a session is not information itself, it's just to receive that energy. It is just to receive that energy. What other benefits I can think of? Understanding current life's challenges, that's a good one. So I always ask my clients if they want to leave the access open, like let's just bring whatever the masters have in mind, or we can also set an intention. Let's say you have a struggle with financial or with relationships, or you're struggling with a very specific situation. You can focus on that intention, and we're going to direct the energy to understand that situation in your life right now. Typically, what happens is that situation is linked with a past life, and that past life energy was not resolved, and then you still bring that information in your field. That comes like in so many different ways. In so many different ways. For example, I'm going to give one example. one of my clients, he had to work so hard to keep up with his financial life, and he felt he was always missing. Uh, he was afraid to not have enough to eat. It was that level. And then we opened his past life, or I gave him a reading, an Akashic Record reading, and then realized he was in a tribe somewhere in Africa, and the environment was very dry. It was very dry. The hunt was tough, and every time they could hunt something, it would be like a pleasure, a joy. And then when he received that information, not just the information, but the energy, he started realizing, okay, I'm repeating patterns here in a different way, but that's that same energy, that same situation is presenting to myself again in a different way. So I can resolve it, I can learn from it. So understanding current life challenges, it's a great one. And then another great one is perspective. It gives you so much perspective. You know, you may ask, oh, why do I have this type of relationship with my mother? My mother is so rude to me. My mother is so this and that. And then you focus on that intention, and then you go back in a life that, maybe you were her mom, and you did a poor job per se. And, and then you start, okay, she's doing that with me now, but I mean, I caused some harm in the past. So it teaches a lot about perspective. It is also a great tool to know your guides. They naturally come, as you do the Akashic Record reading more and more. It is natural that they start appearing. And we have so many different layers of guides. I'm gonna simplify now, but we can say we have the guides, the star brothers and sisters, the ascended masters, and the archangels. And each one of us have so many guides, so many different guides, and they work in different aspects around ourselves and for specific intention. So as we access your record, we're going to be directed by the Akashic Record Masters and your guides and and also your higher self. So it is a loving system. Nowadays, the first thing I see when I get there is your soul or your higher self, and it will present differently. It will present in a way that will make sense for that reading. And then it's like your higher self will decide who to bring with the Akashic Record Masters. So we bring a couple of masters. We form that team that will work on that session, and then they lead the session. And from that, you discover some personal guides that you can connect after the fact, after the session. They are always with us. They're always trying to speak with us, but often we don't hear to them. So that is an opportunity to have direct contact with the Akashic Record Masters. All right. And another topic that I'd like to touch is the types of openings. That is a very interesting one. So often in uh, the most, I don't want to say generic, but because it's never generic. I would say most likely what will happen is the reading of a past life. You come with an intention or not. We're gonna get together with the guides, with the Akashic Record Masters, and they will direct the energy to one past life. I will see that life, or actually, I will see a portion of that life, which I will be recording. And as I do that, they will first, it's just like a movie. I'm just watching and seeing what's going on there. And then after the fact that they showed everything you needed to see or everything you needed to see right now, we go to the other side of the veil where we start the healing when it needs to be. Then we heal that fractal, we heal yourself, and then we can merge or rescue that fractal. That's the terms I'm gonna use. What is rescuing the fractal? So it is rescuing those energies that was not resolved and they're still not resolved in your field right now, in your energetic field. So rescuing your fractal is dissolving a frustration energy, can be related to fear, can be related to relationship, can be related to hate. It is resolving that energy from that past life, and that's going to resonate with your present life because that was still affecting you. It could be affecting you energetically, emotionally. It could be forming a thought form around you, and then we're going to dissolve that. Now, when we dissolve that energy, the problem that you have in this life just becomes much easier to resolve because now it doesn't have that burden or that uh, package of heavy energy resonating with this energy anymore. We dissolve that, you rescue that. Now you can resolve your situation more easily. So the most typical or the life that I open more often is the past lives. Okay. And then there is another thing that I call opening the present life. Typically, that is a cleaning, a healing of your current situation, your current field, and a talk with the masters. 2 weeks ago, for example, one of my clients asked multiple questions, and I say, well, it might be better just to focus on one question, on one intention, and we're gonna direct the energy to that past life so we can uh, open and read that whole past life because you have too many questions now. Uh, it doesn't happen that often, but they decided to, instead of opening a past life, it was just a talk with the masters, and they just went through all of the questions and they answered them all. They were very spiritual questions. And then this present life would be about healing and getting in touch with your guides. Another type of life, it is life in different orbs. For me, this is still rare. I have read very few lives in different orbs, and I feel it happens when the person is ready. And I feel like we need to heal a lot to be able to access those lives. Or maybe you already have, for some reason, already have a easy connection with the star brothers and sisters, and then it will be easy to see that life. It can be either or. But that means, I mean, if we think of the universe is much older than planet Earth. And the way I see, our spirit is eternal because that is a facet of God. It is an aspect of God, and God is eternal. So, what were you doing before Earth? You were probably doing something. Yeah, you were probably living in a different planet. So, those lives are they're typically very different. I don't want to say weird, but they're very different and often confusing because when you're on a different planet, I mean, you can have so many things that we don't have on Earth. And often it's going to be in more than just the third dimension. So you can be living through different bodies. I won't elaborate too much on it because it gets very confusing. But we can open lives in different orbs if you're higher self allows that. And there is another one. There are two others that are also um not common. I would say it's rare to happen, but you can open a life in a different timeline. Yeah. So every time we make a very important decision, we are creating different timelines in the quantum realm. So we are only manifesting this one, but it is like we have those potentials reverberating, resonating here. So you can open that one just to access an information or bring in a talent that you need. And it is like you have all of the possibilities in front of you, you know. And you're not inventing your life. You're choosing one of those. You're manifesting, channeling one of those. Because if you think of that, all of the possibilities, they're already in the mind of the creator. Everything that could ever exist is already in the mind of the creator. So what you're doing as you live is to choose one of those realities. However, important decisions create big timelines, you know. So I'm living this life here now, but in a different timeline that I made a different decision, I could be developing something different, like different tools, different knowledge, different skills. And rarely, it has to be a specific reason to go to a different timeline, but you can access a present life that is not you. And then you just go there, interact with that different timeline, and come back with the knowledge, the skill, whatever you need to get there. And the other one that I personally haven't opened, but few therapists that I know have done that, and I believe that for me that makes sense because it's also in our DNA. Just haven't gotten the chance to open that type of life with any client so far, but it is the lineage. So like a life from your ancestrals. That's complicated. So in our DNA, we carry the information of all of our past lives in our multidimensional DNA, but we also carry the information of our ancestrals. And sometimes one of those ancestrals, they're needing that healing, they're needing that uh, fractal rescue. So it can happen as well. It has never happened to me, but again, I have heard uh, testimonials of other therapists that have done that. So past lives, present lives, lives in different orbs, lives in different timelines, and uh, ancestral lives. Past lives is the most common one, and that's what most of us need right now. It is to heal. Yeah, before you know running, we need to walk with our own legs, and we need to heal those fractals so we can start being more coherent and sustaining our own energy without you know, too much of a burden, too much of a heavy backpack on our backs. All right. So, with all of that said, it is a lot. I want to touch base on some frequent asked questions. I always say in the beginning of my readings that I've done my anchoring, I've done my prayers, and then what do I do there? It's a 10 to 15 minutes ritual for myself, which I'm gonna invite all of my guides. I will invite uh, the Akashic Record Masters. I'm gonna clear the space so I get there protected, anchored, and with the right beings to guide me. And in the end of the day, I'm really not giving you the message. I'm not saying the message to you. I'm just conveying that message to you. It is already yours. I just go there, take it for you, and I give it back to you. That's what I'm doing. It is already yours. It is already there. At some point in this life or in the next ones, you'll be able to access that yourself. This is a natural skill that all of us can have. And sooner or later, we all will be able to have that. I do believe that in a very near future, all of the kids will just have that skill naturally. They will just take this veil out of there, and they will be born already knowing what they were and what is their mission in the present life. I think we're very soon. That'll happen very soon. But coming back to the topic, we're talking about anchoring prayer. Okay, so that's what I do before the session. That's how I prepare the environment. That's how I get mentally in the mood to do the Akashic records. It takes 10 to 15 minutes. That's what it takes me to get there. Then what happened after the record reading? So I often give the client a date, an amount of time that the masters will still be working on it. Some people will experience like heavy feelings, like vivid dreams in the first week. Sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's more. Some people can process that very quickly, but once you access that energy, we changed your energetic structure. We access information that was not unfolded to you up to that point. So each person will take that differently. And then I can give my own example because I have open enough lives. But when it is like an amazing life that you did something important, you can come back and feel, oh man, I feel so empowered right now. Sometimes it is like such a very tough life. Like, I don't know, you killed a lot of people. I can give my example again. Roman life, Roman soldier. I got cheated by my commander, and I don't know. I killed many people. I killed his family. I killed everyone. Okay, that type of energy that comes with that sometimes is heavy, and you need to heal that. And then that you need some time to process that. And then you may cry during the session. You may feel anger during the session, and that'll take some time. Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it takes more time. Typically not more than 2 3 weeks. That. And why you feel that? So you're feeling that, so you can purge, you can give that back to earth. That non-resolved energy you're getting out of the field, your field. And then once you do that, you feel lighter. It may be tough in the beginning of the process. It is natural, but after you go through that, it gets better, and it's gonna get better for the rest of your life. You just healed, you just clean that aspect of yourself, that aspect of your whole being. So many of them will be like shadow work, will be facing your shadows, will be facing aspects of yourself that are negative. Sometimes it is in this life you show the tiny bit of that, but it's related with something much bigger. And then you just release that. I can give another example of myself. you know Opening lives that there was a different culture, a different tribe, killing people from my tribe, and then I feel, man, I feel hate for those guys. And then what's going on? And oh, I know this hate. Oh, it's the hate I used to have for my father. Boom. And then, oh no, that's my father. Oh no. So why did I choose to come as his kid? if he killed me that life, and he killed me again, and he killed me again, oh, you came here this time to teach him love and to learn how to forgive. It is a loving system, you know. We came here to get the experiences and the teachings that we needed. So some lives are easier than others to deal with, but they're always what we need, and they are always helpful. I, again, go to my testimonials on the webpage, and you could ask any one of my clients if they regret. And I have a very strong feeling all of them would say, I don't regret at all. It was tough, but I'm so glad I did it. I feel much better now. I understand myself more now. Okay. Oh yeah, and then talking about the feelings and then the sensations. Um, I read was so we don't need to be in the same place. We don't need to be calling each other. We don't need to be seeing each other. I will ask you the information I need, and that's it. It's gonna be remote, and I ask you to be in a receptive state that so you can feel the energy, but you're gonna receive the energy anyway, no matter what. And it is very interesting how the timing of the energy you receive will totally relate uh, to what I'm saying, even that you're not hearing that at the same time. This is amazing, and I have had so many testimonials on this situation. Like, oh man, I was feeling something in my third eye. What was that? Oh, take a look at the audio, and then at 50 minutes, oh, you were doing the healing there. Yes. So the timing it is amazing. It is. I like to do that as a confirmation, so you can have that confirmation. It helps our logic mind to accept that reality is more than what we're seeing. So, with that said, I do prefer to do that as an audio as opposed to do like face to face for a couple of reasons. One, it is more flexible. Uh, for people that are in a different time zone, and I do work with people from around the world. It is flexible, so maybe they may be sleeping, and that's okay. I can access that while they're sleeping. They will still receive the energy, and later on they will receive the audio. And I do like to send a record because many of the experiences, they have so much information, they need to be listened more than once. You listen once and then, oh man, that was too much, and then listen again. Oh, I didn't pick that in the first time, and then I listen the third time. Oh, this information seems new to me, and then you hold that, and you wait 3 months and you listen that again. Oh, I haven't understand that before. So there are layers of energetic information there to you, available to you, and you pick as much as you can at that moment, and maybe sometime later you'll be able to take more of that information. The other reason that I prefer to do this way is because of the reaction. So if I'm doing that face to face with you, and then I don't know, we go through some tough situation that unfold you a lot of emotion. Sometimes that can just disturb my field. If you start crying or whatever it is, and I'm there. I can you can scare me, and I don't like that to happen. So I prefer to keep that way. If you need to go through the process, that's completely fine. You go through the process, and we can have a call later on. But just during that time, I prefer to go, straight, get all of that information to you, access your record without any distraction, and then boom, I give that to you. You receive the energy, you interpret the energy, and then after that, we can talk more. That's just my way of doing. I prefer to do that way. I know people that do face to face. I have done that a few times, and I really prefer to do remotely, or just recording and sending that to you. Yeah, and then another thing that people ask me frequently is what is a fractal. Then I explained that in the beginning, but I guess I can come back to it. A fractal, it is just, well, let's put this way. We're we're defining those terminologies just should be speaking the same language. If you read different literature, what is soul, what is spirit, what is higher self, what is oversoul, there are different ways to interpret the word depending on the perspective. So here we're gonna call soul, and every existence, every life of that soul, it is a fractal. Okay, so I have my soul, and right now I have the fractal Myron. I'm living as Myron. Every past life is a fractal, and then we rescue the fractal. I think it's a easier way to understand. So those are multiple facets of your being, of your soul, you know? And the other one, oh yeah, often people ask me about the guides, and I will start writing more about that. Who are the Ascended Masters, or at least the ones that appear more often? The Master of the Great White Brotherhood, um, some intraterranean masters, the Star Brothers and Star Sisters. I'll start writing about them so you can get more used to them, as they often appear in the Akashic Record sessions, and they all have beautiful energy, beautiful teachings, and I'm very grateful to work with them. I'm very grateful for everything they they come to teach us, for their love, for their compassion, for their patience. They're very patient. Yes, they need to be to work with us. But yeah, and that's it. If you have any questions about the Akashic Record readings, the Akashic Record itself, please comment below so I can gather enough uh, questions to do another video. If you like this video, please support us subscribing and liking the video. And have a great day whenever you're watching this, or in whatever fractal you are right now.